Atin naman pong tatalakayin ang mga programa at iba pang update para sa mga micro, small and medium enterprises. Makakapanayan po natin si Ginoong Joey Concepcion, member ng DTI-MSME Development Council. Sir, magandang araw po sa inyo.
Magandang araw rin.
Yes sir, noong nakaraang linggo po, kayo po ay na-appoint bilang miyembro ng MSME Development Council. Ano po ba yung mga prioridad nyo sa ngayon?
Well, actually, medyo matagal na rin ako dyan sa MSME Council. Na-renew lang ang appointment ko para at least may continuity. At mula dati nung panahon pa ni President Duterte, talagang isang priority natin ay talagang tumulong dito sa mga micro at small entrepreneurs. Kasi if we want jobs to continue to grow in this country, we have to accelerate our MSMEs, especially the micro and small, para mas guminhawa yung mga negosyo nila. Karamihan sa mga micro kasi natin, ang tinatawag natin, mga survival entrepreneurs yan. At kulang sa kapital, kulang sa alamin kung paano nila papalaksin yung mga negosyo nila. Kaya yung public-private partnership ng Go Negosyo at DTI at Department of Agriculture ay talagang tuloy-tuloy pa rin yan mula sa dating administration ni President Duterte and mas lalo ngayon sa kay President Marcos na talagang ina-accelerate natin na tuloy-tuloy ang mga programa. Nakikita niyo dito sa mga shopping centers natin, sa mga SM Robinson at Ayala, nandyan ang presence ng private sector. Yung Go Negosyo talagang nagbibigay ng tulong at pinaka-importante dito ang 3Ms kasi mentorship, money, and market. So, access to mentors, access to market, and eventually access to money. Without those 3Ms, mahihirapan na maging successful isang micro at small entrepreneur.
Okay, sir, ano po yung marching order ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sa inyong pagpasok bilang miyembro o muling pagkakahalal sa MSME Development Council?
Well, importante for our country is we must see our country to continue to grow. And those that contributed to growth, syempre ang mga negosyante dyan, mula sa malaki hanggang sa pinakamaliit. At ngayon may bagong word na ginamit si President Marcos, nano-entrepreneur. So, nakikita natin yan sa mga angkas, joyride, grab drivers. Sila ay entrepreneur rin kasi sila ang naghahanap ng trabaho at sila mismo ang may-ari ng maliit na negosyo nila, pagiging driver. So, yun ang tinatawag natin nano-entrepreneurs. So, ang ginagawa natin ngayon, talagang we are really accelerating yung mga training programs, ginagawa yan ng DTI, DA, at pati yung private sector, sumasama rin kami dyan. Halos umaabot na kami ng maybe about 300 plus mentors ngayon ang tumutulong dito sa programa ng Go Negosyo. At katulang rin namin dito sa mga programa ng DTI, DA, ang pagbibigay ng mentors. Kasi importante na may mentor ang isang entrepreneur para at least maturuan siya kung ano ang dapat gawin niya sa negosyo na. At especially ngayon, ang digital platforms ay talagang lumalakas ngayon and it's giving access to our entrepreneurs to be able to access this market. So, kung you have, importante dito is we have to make sure that the entrepreneur also has a skill, whether he is good in marketing, retailing, culinary. So it is very clear that to be a successful negosyante, you have to have a skill. So all of this together will make the entrepreneur have a better chance to succeed.
Okay, mentorship. Paano po makaka-access dito yung mga interesado pong mga maliliit na nagnenegosyo o gustong magsimula pa lang ng maliit na negosyo?
Well, yung DTI, they have their negosyo centers all over the country. And people manning the negosyo centers are constantly accepting those entrepreneurs kung gusto nilang matuto. So we have this online program kapatid mentoring program for both DTI and DA, no? So, yung mga tumuturo dito ay actually mga mentors na certified namin na they do it online, basically, which saves a lot of money in transportation. So, and it's very effective, no? I think there's about close to, if I'm not mistaken, about 3,000 graduates already here. So these are the entrepreneurs who are given the coaching that's needed, no? And eventually, they're taught also on how to market their products. So malaking bagay ngayon dito kasi yung malaman ng mga MSME sa atin, yung mga digital platforms that are out there right now. Sarisuki, Rosari, yung mga ibang platforms katulad ng Joyride, ang Cash, Lalamove, lahat to ay tumutulong dito ngayon sa mga MSMEs natin. Kasi dati mahirap magbenta ng produkto. Ngayon may mga platforms, yung Lazada, yung Shopee, yung service platform, marami rin dyan, no? In deliveries. So the digital platforms are really growing. More investments are being poured into the digital platforms. Digital wallets, nandyan ang GCash, nandyan ang Maya. So malaking bagay yan. Yung pandemic talagang it forced many of our entrepreneurs to really move towards contactless kasi dati sa pandemic bawal ang dapat contactless. So napuwersa lahat ng mga MSMEs to really get a e-wallet like GCash or Maya. That is actually allowing right now the MSMEs to really now sell online, no? And or offer their service online. So all payments right now, nakita natin, is all basically to the e-wallet or the debit card. Sa Amerika, nung pumasok ang credit card, mas lalong sumigla yung negosyo nila, no? So in America, everybody has a credit card. Dito sa Pilipinas, people will not qualify for credit cards. Kukunti lang ang mag-qualify yan. Pero dito sa debit cards, many will qualify. Actually, everybody will qualify.
Alright, sir. Sa inyo pong opinion, ano po ba yung dapat na pagtuunan na programa ngayon na isinusulong ng pamahalaan para po mas matulungan itong mga maliliit na negosyo?
So, yung mga maliit na negosyo dito sa retailing, no, sa karinderya, lahat yan, walang problema. Mas madaling silang tulungan, no? Ang pinakamalaking challenge natin dito sa agrikultura, no, mga farmers natin, mga micro-farmers. At isang dahilan na talagang dapat itignan yung problema dito sa agrikultura. At yung problema natin dyan ay yung scale, no? Kaya nilaunch namin yung Kapatid Angat Lahat agri-program, yung KALAP. Now, dito sa grupo ng KALAP, kasama namin dito lahat ng pinakamalaking korporasyon dito sa agrikultura. At nakita natin sa pagmi-meeting namin, how do we create scale in this country? Yung ginawa ni dating Pangulong Marcos, no, way back, ang father ni BBM, was the land reform. Tama ang ginawa niya, no, to give land to the farmers, no. Pero yung panahon na yan, there are restrictions, no. Yung isang farmer that will get this land, CLOA, are prohibited from mortgaging the land to the bank, no? And they cannot sell the land. So how will they access working capital? And that's why maraming mga bangko ayaw magpautang sa mga agri-farmers kasi ang level of risk is very high. Pero ang problema nun is that they have an asset but they cannot use it to borrow money. So we've been proposing to some of the legislators, baka pwedeng they review the agrarian reform as part of the whole modernization of the agricultural sector, no? Kasi karamihan ng mga MSMEs natin, especially the micro at small, are farmers. So if we're able to improve their negocios, and right now, through the big brothers, the approach where I become a contract grower, a contract farmer, nangyayari na yan. So tumutulong na din ng private sector dito by getting them as part, bringing them part in their value chain. But my thinking, together with the other big brothers, is what if we recommend to Congress to really review the agrarian reform and to allow these CLOAs, the land that's given to the farmers, that they can mortgage and that they can sell it, no? But they can never change that the use will always be for agriculture, no? So the condition to this recommendation is that they be allowed to mortgage and sell, but whoever buys it can only use it for agriculture. So tuloy-tuloy pa rin siya. So you don't, minsan yung isang farmer, matanda na rin siya, so he wants to pass it on to his siblings, no, or his children. Pero sayang rin kasi what if they're not interested in wanting to be a farmer, no? And they're already working overseas. So anong nangyayari dyan? So we have to find that solution. And I think the moment we have a solution there, then more farmers will be able to borrow money and build on the working capital. And we can now combine all of these farmers to come together. Even big cooperatives, they can now buy this land from these farmers who want to give up, no, and just sell the property and move on, no. So I think for as long as we maintain that these CLOAs can only be used for agri, allow them to mortgage it, allow them to sell it.
Okay, sir, ang Pangulo po nating Marcos, ang siyang tumatayo rin bilang kalihim ng Department of Agriculture. Naiparating nyo na po ba ito o may plano po ba? Kailan po ang plano ninyo para makausap o maisuhestyon itong mga nabanggit ninyo para sa ating mga farmers?
Sa huling namin meeting sa Malacanang nung I would say last week, I recommended this to the president. That in fairness, he was listening. He didn't give his firm commitment, but I can see from his expression that he was at least open to the idea. And I think Congress is already starting to review certain things, no, on this type of land. And at least I was able to plant the seed in him that I think for us to really make our farmers more competitive, we really have to get them to have scale. Katulad din kami mga negosyante, if we don't have scale in our business, we will not be able to compete. We need scale so that our cost to produce can go down. Yun ang advantage dito sa Thailand, sa Vietnam, sa Cambodia, sa Myanmar. They really have scale. Their farmers can have, they group together. They have been very successful in producing all of these important commodities that we need, rice, corn, etc. So I believe that this government is open to the idea, and by the mere fact that you are not going to reclassify the CLOA land to anything, it has to stick to agriculture. That is your control, no? But the person owning the land can change. He might be a farmer who's tired now and wants to pass it on, but he cannot pass it on. So allow him to sell it to somebody who is passionate that he wants to start his own farm, no? So I think there is a chance that Congress will be open to this. And it is the way forward for us to really strengthen our agricultural sector, no? And that is the key element in bringing our commodities at lower prices. You will get better yields, and with better yields, you will be able to bring down your costs. And of course, we will have more passionate farmers, no? So that is why our group is very passionate about really trying to help our MSMEs. And it's not only those MSMEs in the retail sector, no, and in the food sector. We have to have, especially our MSMEs, who are producing the raw materials for these food ingredients as well, no? And that is the agri sector.
Okay, sir, balikan po natin yung mga adhikain ng Pangulo, no? Para po sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, paano po ba makakatulong sa pagbubukas ng maraming trabaho itong private and public collaboration na nais ng Pangulong Marcos?
Well, alam mo naman, yung private sector, we want the economy to grow. At yung government ni President Marcos talagang malaking tulong sa paglalakbay niya, no? By his mere traveling around, visiting very important countries, the United States and Europe and UK and all of that, he's bringing more confidence for investors to invest in the Philippines. Kaya Invest Philippines is the battle cry for us right now. bringing more investors, it has to be the leader of Philippines Incorporated. Tawagan na natin yung Pilipinas para isang korporasyon yan. So Philippines Inc. So yung mga citizens dyan, I would compare that parang shareholder tayo ng Philippines Inc. So we all have a stake. So the campaign is to really sell the Philippines as the best place to invest, not only in terms of infrastructure, there's so much opportunities, tourism, so we have to build that image. And the private sector here is one and solidly behind the president. The role of what the president has created, the Private Sector Advisory Council, this is a first of its kind, no? Of getting the private sector really working with government. And there are about 5 or 6 private sector council. I had the jobs group, no? So lahat kami, nandyan si Tessie Coson, nandyan si Dory. So we put a lot of time in trying to work out the best way forward for creation of jobs, no? And we've sent the president these recommendations, which he is open to and listening very well. And so this collaboration is the way forward. So now, what the president has done is to really harness the brightest minds of the big business today and pulling our resources together and recommending together with the cabinet secretary. So we're now working like a team. No, that's the most important. Creating great team with the collaboration between the private sector and the public sector.
Okay, Sir Joey, pag-usapan po natin itong problema ngayon ng mga maliliit na negosyo. Sa tuloy-tuloy na pagtaas po ng presyo ng bilihin o yung inflation sa ating bansa, yung mga maliliit na negosyo ang isa sa mga pinakaapektadong sektor. Ano po ang inyong mga hakbang tungkol dito o suggestion para sa mga maliliit na negosyante?
Well, you know, yung mga maliit na negosyante, syempre, yung pinaka-importante sa kanila, yung puhunan, no? Yung puhunan minsan kulang eh. At syempre, yung mga magpapag-utang sa kanila, may risk tolerance na yan, no? So depende sa sektor na pinapasok nila kung mataas yung risk level, syempre mas iingat yung mga bangko or yung mga microfinance lenders, no? At yan ang ginagawa natin ngayon sa mga micro-entrepreneurs. We are doing our best to try to coach them, to mentor them. We are helping them review their business model. Yung mga ibang malaking negosyante, marami dyan are putting them as part of their value chain. No? So, and that's important kasi if a micro-entrepreneur is part of a value chain of a bigger corporation, kasama na dyan ang mentorship. Kasama din ang pagtutulong in accessing market at accessing funding. So, and that's what we have to continue. So, the private sector, big companies like ourselves, we embrace many of our micro-entrepreneurs, especially yung mga sari-sari store at karinderya. As a consumer goods company like my company RFM, if you are not in the sari-sari store, you're not a player in the food business or in the consumer business. So it is to our interest also to ensure that we help these small entrepreneurs kasi they are the avenue for us to reach yung bulk of our Filipino people who are living at the bottom of the pyramid. So for us to really create greater prosperity for all, it cannot be just the medium and large companies that continue to be successful. We have to make our micro and small entrepreneurs scale up and become successful. So there will be more spending power with our people. So as you build more jobs and as you build more negosyo, in other words, aangat din ng mga maliit na negosyante, more people who have jobs, then you will have economic prosperity for all, no? Which will benefit the masa, which is important. We cannot be, we have to lessen that the people in the bottom of that pyramid for this country to really progress. And that is our goal. And that's the goal of the private sector and this government. So working together with the government is the only way that we can have a better chance of leveling up the prosperity in this country.
Okay, Sir Joey, bilang panghuli po, no, balikan ko lamang po yung mentorship. Marami po tayong mga kababayang OFWs na kumukuha lang naman ng pondo. Yun ang una nilang initial na plano. Kukuha lang ng pondo, magtatrabaho sa ibang bansa at gustong magnegosyo sa Pilipinas at manatili na dito. Ano po ang mensahe niyo po para sa kanila in terms of tulong ng gobyerno, kagaya ng sinasabi ninyong mentorship?
Well, ang importante sa isang nagtatrabaho sa pambansa, yung pera na hard-earned money na kinikita nila, pag-ingatan nila, no? You cannot just throw that money back home and start a business kung yung mga relatives mo or yung mga anak nyo wouldn't know how to start one. Baka mawala pa ang savings mo, no? So, importante na they have to think carefully ano ang dapat nilang gawin sa pera na sinisave nila. Una, sa tingin ko, they should ensure that their children get well educated, no? Kung they're ready for it, then they should start to explore, no? They should join our events, and it's very accessible. Nasa SM, all the malls, on every other week we're there. You can see the mentoring event that's well attended, close to 500 to 1,000 people come, no? This coming Saturday, we'll be in SM dito sa bandang Calamba area, no? So these are all in newspapers and social media, so please attend these events. And of course, I admire our Filipino overseas workers, no, working hard to make sure that their family will have a better life in this country. And rest assured that we will do everything we can, no, to help you achieve that dream. So just look at your social media. We're all over, and you can access our mentoring programs, and they're free of charge. We give the books for free on how to start a business.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng impormasyon ating pong nakapanayam si Ginoong Joey Concepcion ng DTI-MSME Development Council. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Salamat rin.